Hey guys, welcome back. Craig with Single Length School here, and today during our lockdown, I reached out and asked some followers what types of questions they have that I can help them out with their single length or one length irons. Different things that they can do, some things that they wanted to learn while they're at home. So welcome to the video. This is your questions answered. So for those of you who don't follow the page, do me a favor. Go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit the notifications button, and like the video. This way you guys know when I release a new video, you can stay up to date with our tips and tricks. And as always, here at Single Length School, our goal is to get you to golf smarter, not harder. And the majority of that is with single length irons. So we're going to talk a few topics here today about single length irons and some of the things that you guys want to learn. But at the same time, there's going to be some tips here that may help the average golfer as well. So it doesn't matter if you're a single length player or a regular length club player, be sure to subscribe and stay tuned to our channel. The tips can help players of both ways, although there are some that do favor just single length irons. So question number one that we have, we're going to talk three questions today. Question number one does refer to one and two do refer to single length irons, and actually third question goes towards single length irons, but also can apply to your regular standard set of irons. So question number one, and this is a great question because there's a lot of ways and a lot of people who think things need to be done a certain way. So question number one is, with single length irons, should I try and learn and focus in on a single plane swing, or can I use a two plane swing or some kind of variation? Well, we know that Bryson DeChambeau has somewhat modified his swing to kind of go towards a single plane swing. And what we're talking about when we're talking single plane swing is kind of everything's all in one. You know, you stand a little bit closer, everything's just one movement. It's just one movement. There's nothing, the golf club, your body, everything kind of stays on the same path. Whereas, you know, more of a traditional or a two-plane swing, as some will call it, it'll vary a little bit. You know, you can come in and out, you can come over the top. You know, it all depends. But you know, your standard single-plane swing or one-plane swing is just strictly more or less back, and that's what we see with Bryson a lot. Is he keeps his wrist locked, and he doesn't really cock his wrist much until he gets to the top. So he's kind of taking it back with his wrist locked and kind of coming through that way and keeping everything the same the whole way through, whereas your two-plane swing is a little bit different. So what works best with single length irons? Well, and the guys over at Cobra, trust me, I'm not paid by anybody, but the guys at Cobra, Adele, all the single length iron makers, you guys can thank me now. Send me some clubs, send me something to help you guys out, because I know this is a question that you guys get asked a lot, and hopefully this solves a lot of questions. But it doesn't matter if you have a single plane or a two plane swing. It doesn't matter. Single length clubs are built so that you swing every club the same. So it doesn't matter if you're a single plane swing, a two plane swing, doesn't matter what your swing looks like. The idea of single length irons is to get consistent iron play regardless of what iron's in your hand. So, you know, my swing's not traditional by any means. You know, I take my hands back first. I cock my wrist first and then go into my swing. You know, so it doesn't matter. The key is having consistent play. Doesn't matter what your swing looks like. Look on tour. The swings are all over the place. How many guys laugh at Jim Furyk the first time you saw it and then realize, oh, that guy's making a couple million a year playing golf? It doesn't matter what your swing looks like. The key is the clubs. It's the consistency. So that's it. My suggestion is swing your swing. Just get comfortable with the 7-iron length. All right, so let's jump into question number 2. And this is another good one as well, and a lot of it comes down to the short game. So the question is, in my setup, in my bag setup, should I be playing single length wedges or should I be playing traditional length wedges? That's another great question. A lot of guys feel like there's something missing with the wedges. And for whatever reason, I think it's a mental thing, honestly. The wedges themselves, doesn't matter what brand you have, they're designed to adjust so that you hit that wedge the same you would as a regular length wedge. So it doesn't matter if it's a 60 that's in the one length, so 7 or 8 iron length, or a 60 that's your standard shorter, the shortest club in the bag. That wedge, your one length wedge, is built to go and designed to go that distance that you're used to. So for you guys that are playing single length irons or one length irons, there's no reason why you should have the standard variable length wedges in your bag. And here's why. If you practice enough, if you're not comfortable with your single or one length wedge around the green because it's a little bit longer, you need to practice more. What you're going to find is the whole idea of one length or single length irons is so you have as consistent of a setup and swing throughout the majority of your bag. Your driver's going to vary, your 3-wood's going to vary. For those of you that carry a 5-wood, that's going to vary. But for the rest of you guys, you can get every single club from 3-wood down. So your 3 irons, your hybrids, your wedges, you can get those all in single length irons or single length size for the simple reason to keep it consistent. So, by going to a shorter wedge setup and keeping your 4 through, let's say, pitching wedge at one length, so now you've got 3 additional wedges, a gap, a sand, and a lob. Now you've got your driver and your 3-wood. So you've got 5 clubs there that are different length, which means different setup and different swing. And then you have your irons. So you've got 6 different swings in your bag. Whereas if you have the one length wedges, now you've got your driver swing, your 3-wood or 5-wood swing, and then the rest of it is all one length. Now you've got 3 swings in your bag. You cut it in half by having the one length wedges in your bag. So that's my suggestion. Stay away from the variable length as much as possible. Get your bag into as much of a single length or one length setup as possible. That means, if you play a 3 iron, you play hybrids, all of those, get those in the one length or the single length setup so that everything except your driver, your wood, and your putter is the same setup. It's going to help you get more consistent, and that's going to help you lower your scores. Again, that's why I say golf smarter, not harder. Why have 6 or 14 swings when you can have 3, and that's going to lower your scores? So again, guys, as we're getting into this third and final question today, I just want to make sure and hope everybody's staying happy and healthy, enjoying your family time. For those of you that can't golf, I'm one of them. Hopefully we can get out sooner rather than later. Certain areas looks like we're hopefully getting to the right stage of this. But again, guys, do me a favor. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notifications button and knock that like button out into the middle of the fairway like you want to hit your driver. And don't forget, guys, you can follow me over on Instagram or Facebook at Single Length School or on Twitter at One Length School. So let's get into our final question here. And this is a good question. We're talking trajectory with your one length irons. And the question is, how do I want to set up to the ball with all my clubs? So if you're a beginner, there's one thing I tell all the beginners that I talk to and work with when it comes to the single length. Find one setup, find one swing that works for you, and leave it. Until you get better and start to learn how to control your trajectories and how to move the ball around to control your trajectories, leave the setup the same. The reason being is all the clubs are designed to take care of the trajectory for you. So they have the lofts built in, they have the lie to take care of the trajectory, whether it's going higher or lower. Your 5 iron is going to have a lower loft, so it goes lower. Your 60 obviously is opened up so you can get it high. So if you find this, what you need to do, not if, but what you need to do is find that sweet spot in your swing where you're making consistent contact with every club. And part of that is where the ball position is. So for me, my ball position is middle of my stance, where I actually would originally play my 7-iron with all my clubs. So, you know, I'm in the middle of my stance. Now, I will tell you, some guys, it's going to be a little more towards their front foot. Maybe they're a little bit taller than I am. Maybe that's where the bottom of the club comes through. Other guys, it's going to be towards the back foot. Listen, it doesn't matter. It's what works for you. So there's no right or wrong answer. It's just finding what works for you. Once you find that spot, don't worry about moving the ball around if you're just beginning or just getting used to the single length irons. Now, as you progress and you become more comfortable and you understand your swing a little bit better and you're getting those lower scores, and then you want to learn how to control the trajectory of the ball. You want to hit it a little higher, you want to hit it a little lower. That's actually really simple. And it's learning where the bottom of your swing is. So once you have that spot, like I said, mine's the middle. And as you go on, if you want to hit the ball higher, you simply move that ball more towards your front foot. So, you know, I've got my 60 in my hand. Typically, you know, I do get a high flight. I usually carry this club about 100 yards or so. But let's say I want to get it even higher, stop it a little bit faster, and maybe carry it 95 yards. So instead of the middle of my stance, I'm actually going to move it towards the inside of my front foot. And I keep my stance kind of tight. But I move it towards the front foot so that now when I'm swinging, the bottom of that club's actually coming through. I'm not compressing down on the ball. So if I'm back here on my normal setup, I'm more likely going to be hitting down on this ball a little bit. So of course, we always want to hit down on the ball, but I'm going to hit down on it a little bit more here than I would if it's in the front of my stance. So front of my stance, there's a good chance that I'm actually going to be hitting the ground right under the ball, whereas in the middle of my stance, I'm going to be hitting the ground right after the ball. So if I want to hit it higher, I'm going to move that ball towards the front foot a little bit more. If I want to hit it a little bit lower, if I'm playing a punch shot, I need to keep it low, the wind's blowing, something like that, I'm going to take it from the middle of my stance and actually move it towards my back foot. Because now when I hit that ball, the club's going to be de-lofted even more because it's towards the back of my foot. It hasn't had the time to open up as it comes through the swing. So it's towards the back of my foot, and when I come down, that's going to produce that lower ball flight. So just so you guys can kind of see, I'm going to do this a little bit slow. I've got two balls here. I've got my middle stance, and you know, I'm going to take it, but I'm going to hit two little shots, and you should be able to see. I'm going to put one towards my front foot, one towards my back foot, so you can see, and you should see with his video, and I'll do my best to kind of blow it up for you. But I want you to see that just that ball position movement from front foot to back foot, based on where you are, is going to affect that trajectory. Again, for you beginners, don't worry about this. This is something you're going to learn as you get in and get more comfortable with your swing. It's something you can do down the line. But for those guys that want to control it, have a little bit better idea of their game, this is what you do. So, you know, the first one I'm going to hit is just going to be a little bit higher. And you should see that as I hit the swing set there. And then this one, I'm going to play towards my back foot. And you should see it come out a little lower. So hopefully you guys are able to see that on the video, how, you know, just moving that ball position towards the front foot or the back foot affects trajectory off of your shots. So guys, again, I hope everyone's doing safe. If you guys have any questions, by all means, leave a comment down below. I'll respond. If you have want to talk to me personally, send me an email, singlelengthschool@gmail.com. Again, do me a favor, go follow me on Facebook, Instagram @singlelengthschool, over on Twitter @onelengthschool. Subscribe to this page, hit that notification button. Do me a favor, if you like this video, smash the like button out to the middle of the fairway. And guys, we'll see you next time. Have a good one and stay safe.